Hi, I'm Jan Cartanza, and I work for the Delaware Farm Bureau, but I'm also a farmer here in Delaware, and these are my green peas. We have 250 acres of green peas this year. We also grow green beans and corn and soybeans. And so I wanted to share with you today the first Peas to the Table book because I love green peas. Every spring, Ms. Garcia's class grows a different kind of garden. In February, she announced that our class was going to plant a garden like Thomas Jefferson's. No fair, I whispered to my friend Shakayla. Last year, they got to plant a pizza garden. Shh, Shakayla says, as Miss Garcia started saying something about a contest. What contest? I asked. A first Peas to the Table contest, Miss Garcia said. When Jefferson was older, he and his neighbors had one every spring. For our garden contest, you'll each be given a small pot of planting peas. She held up a bowl. The winner will be the first student who can fill this bowl with shelled peas and set them on the table to eat. Some kids said, yuck. But Miss Garcia said fresh peas tasted as sweet as candy and were one of Jefferson's favorite foods. If peas taste as good as candy, I'm planting a ton, Shakayla said. Let the great pea race begin. I really wanted to win when Miss Garcia showed us the winner's crown. It was gold and green and emerald-colored pea-shaped jewels all around it. Thomas Jefferson, she said, called agriculture the crown of all sciences. Be bold and experiment, Miss Garcia said. Jefferson traded seeds with people around the world. Then he used his garden like a giant science lab to test which plants would grow best. I pulled a shiny nickel from my pocket. Jefferson was on the front, and his home, Monticello, was on the back. This would be my good luck charm for winning, I decided. The next day, we made journals to record our notes in, just like Thomas Jefferson did. His garden book was like a diary with notes about everything he planted, and we learned a lot about peas. Jefferson said that you have to have healthy soil to grow healthy plants. Compost made of plant waste that's rotted adds nutrients to the soil. We took some compost from the school's bin and mixed it into the garden beds. On Valentine's Day, Ms. Garcia brought in 10 different varieties of pea seeds. They had fancy names like Emerald Treasures and Pearls in a Pod. We each got a pack of 20 seeds of one variety, and then we had a trading party. Shakayla ended up with 2 seeds from each variety, but I held on to the 20 I started with, Sweet Victory Peas. That name sounded like a winner to me. Ms. Garcia said that we could get a head start by planting some peas inside at home and then transplanting them at school in March. But I was going to get a double head start because I found a pea growing tip in a book of Jefferson's garden, and I was keeping it top secret. At home, I put 8 tiny pea seeds into a bowl of water. What are you doing, my mother asked. Making pea soup? I'll tell you if you can keep it a secret, I told her. In 1771, Jefferson wrote that he soaked his pea seeds for 24 hours before he planted them. The next day, I planted my soaked peas and placed the pots on a sunny windowsill with my good luck nickel next to them. 4 times a day, I checked on my plants and gave them water. But after 2 weeks and no sign of green, I dug up a seed. It was rotten mush from too much water. So I started all over with 8 more seeds and less watering. Shakayla started carrying home a lot of books on garden plants and some strange stuff from the school's recycling resource room. "What's all this for?" I asked. "Your peas aren't growing yet, are they?" "Maybe," she smiled, "or maybe not." "Are yours?" "Maybe, or maybe not," I replied. Shakayla laughed. "May the boldest gardener win." I ran home after school to check my peas. My little seeds had started sprouting. I made a name tag for each pot. "Grow faster," I whispered to my plants. "As soon as you're strong enough, I'm moving you to a real garden." On March 21st, the first day of spring, we worked on our garden's main bed. Like Jefferson, we divided them into 3 sections for roots, fruits, and leaves. But when we got ready to mark which plants went into which section, we got confused. "Cucumbers and peppers aren't fruit," insisted Jacob. "They're vegetables." So Shakayla grabbed a science book and we sorted things out. "Remember," Shakayla directed, "roots are foods that grow underground, like carrots. Leaves are leaves we eat, like lettuce. And cucumbers, peppers, and tomatoes are called fruit because they grow from a flower and have seeds inside the part that you eat. But those won't get planted until the weather warms up." The next day, I transplanted my 8 home plants into my pea patch and I planted my last 4 seeds. Then I stuck in a whirligig to scare away the hungry birds. In the big garden bed, tiny ruffled lettuce leaves were coming up. I felt like a gardening champion until I walked over to Shakayla's pea patch. It looked like a science fair exhibit. She had 10 different types of peas labeled like Jefferson's with numbers, and some of her transplants were the size of mine. When I saw the different types of trellises she'd made, I remembered that peas like some kind of support. That way, they stay out of the mud and get more sunshine. In April, we went outside every day to weed the beds and record the progress of our plants. Our lettuce is growing the fastest of all. I inverted a trellis for my peas with bells that played soft music in the wind. Jefferson won a gold medal for his invention of a garden plow. Maybe someday I'll win a gold medal for an invention too. One sunny day, I saw that Shakayla's plants had little white blossoms all over them. I raced to my pea patch, hoping to find some flowers on my plants. Penelope Pea had a blossom. I was so happy that I did a little pea blossom dance. Shakayla and I sat down and drew pea blossoms in our journals. "I wish I could draw as well as you," she said. "I wish that my plants were as big as yours," I replied. Thomas Jefferson almost always lost the first peas to the table contest to his neighbor, Mr. Divers, Shakayla said, reminding me of the story Ms. Garcia had told us, but they stayed friends. "You're right," I said, giving her a hug, "but I still hope that my plants win." By early May, I had lots of blossoms, and 6 blossoms had made tiny pods. One day, the sky grew dark and a big windstorm came, hooting and hollering over the school. When it ended, we went outside to check our plants. Mine were okay, but then I heard Shakayla crying, "Oh no!" Her trellises had tumbled into a terrific tangle. "It's not like you'll win now," she said. "My plants are ruined." "No, they're not," I said. "I'll help you fix them." On the 14th of May, we had a celebration lunch with the first harvest of our lettuce and bowls of fresh peas, but the peas were not mine. They were Shakayla's. and she was crowned the winner of our first Peas to the Table contest. "Congratulations," I said. "You did a good job." "Thanks," she said. "I bet that your plants will be second. They'll look really good." "Maybe," I replied, "but it feels like I've been waiting for them forever." Then I went back to check on my slowpoke peas. My first pod, plump and firm, was ready to be picked. I plucked it off, popped it open, and tasted a pea. It was as sweet as candy, and I'd grown it all by myself. No wonder Thomas Jefferson liked gardening so much. For one tiny seed, a whole plant could grow, full of flowers first, then giving you the sweetest peas in the whole world. Some things are worth waiting for. And that's the end of my story.